All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Do Our Things podcast. I'm Jay Teagues, running coach, high performance mindset coach. And today, like every other episode, we are here to empower you to upgrade your life through mindset and movement. Angie, how are you doing this morning?
I'm super tired, but I'm here. Yay.
You had a late night last night, didn't you?
I did. I did.
What were you doing up on a school night?
On a school night,
Not
I
a
was
school night
in,
though. It's President's Day.
yeah, on President's Day night. I was in Columbia with the Derby team and we were scrimmaging Como roller derby and it was a lot of fun. And it was worth it. Totally worth it. But I'm definitely dragging booty this morning. So
Well, the
tired.
good news is you don't have to work today, so you can go get a nap after this. Go recover,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
get some more miles in.
Yeah. Yep. That's the plan. That is the plan.
Well, today our episode's called Mind Over Mile, Staying Motivated on the Long Run. And we're going to talk about the mental aspects of long distance running. I'm going to share with
Mm-hmm.
you because my own brush with it over the weekend. We ran 18 miles and I didn't want to do it. I was just like, it was brutal. It was 18 degrees, ran 18 miles. And it was freaking hard. So whether you're training, for your first like 5K, 10K, half marathon, ultra marathon, whatever it is, mental motivation is just as crucial as physical preparation. And we're going to talk about some strategies to help keep your mind engaged and motivated so you can push through, and totally believe that what you do in training transcends everyday life. So this is pretty crucial. But before we get into that, make sure you smash the subscribe button so you're notified of future episodes. We're on Spotify, Apple, Pocket Cast, YouTube. We're on TikTok over here. We're on social media. We're everywhere. So come find us. Leave us a review. They really do go a long way. They matter. We appreciate them. And so if you gained any value from our podcast and efforts, please just take a moment and leave us a review. And it helps other people find our podcast as well. And share it with a couple of your friends. And we would love to hear your feedback. If there's a strategy that we missed, or you got a great like nugget or takeaway, or even if we suck today, just let us know. We want to hear about it. So let us know what your thoughts, good, bad, whatever. We love to hear feedback from y'all. And so you can reach out to us directly. This episode is sponsored by Do Our Things Nation. We're a community committed to living life on offense. And we empower you to upgrade your life through mindset and movement. Network with like-minded people. We have frameworks and challenges and accountability so you can become the high performer that you know that you can be. And go to doourthingsnation.com, www.doourthingsnation.com. We're currently in the middle of the Taji 100. We have the Do Hard Things 28. So if you need a free challenge to kind of get the mind right, body tight, go check that out. It's a challenge that you can do on your own where you can score yourself, and just go to doorthingsnation.com. You can download the sheet. It's self-explanatory. We got a few events coming up. We got the Rock and Roll Marathon in April. We got the Do Hard Things 9/11 run and Ruck in September. We got a few other events. Just go to doorthingsnation.com, click on events. You can see what we have going on. So Saturday morning, there I was. It's 18 degrees outside. I'm freezing my ass off. It's cold. It's dark. It's miserable. And we're on for 18 miles training for our rock and roll half marathon. And I just kind of going into this thing was just really kind of dreading it. And it was cold. This is Lacey's first marathon training event. And I think I'm just maybe a little fatigued from all the miles because I'm also doing some cycling, preparing for this adventure race. But it was cold. We've had like this bipolar weather here in the Midwest. And it was like 60 degrees early in the week, and then it snowed. And then like it was 18 degrees on Saturday morning, but I knew it was going to be 60 degrees on Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, Lacey, we don't have to run this on Saturday. We could wait till tomorrow. She's like, we already have the group meet up, and we're all like mentally committed. It's like, okay, we showed up and we got there. First 5 miles were okay. I mean, it was cold, icy patches. We had to kind of run on the road, and the sidewalks kind of slick.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. After that, after the 6 mile mark, I really got here. Like I just wanted to go. I want to go get coffee and I want to go back to bed. And it took me everything I had mentally to get through this grind of a run. And I enjoy running, but it was such a mental grinder. And I still had 2 hours to go. and it was just one
Mhm.
foot in front of the other. Have you ever experienced anything like that, Angie, where you just like,
Yeah. Absolutely. Training for the, um, Ultrapalooza 50K. It just there are so many days you get up and you get out there and, even on the best prepared days, sometimes when you get to mile 14, 12, 16, I mean, it's just you really have to, um you really have to pull out those mental mind tricks to keep
yeah,
yourself going and keep yourself on track. But yes, yes, I've been there.
yeah, and Ultra Palooza, that's in Kansas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also
that's
what also Watomi, I don't even know how to say it right, but yes.
that's in the summer, right? That's what makes that one
Yes,
challenging, is that it's freaking hot, right?
it is yes, yeah, it is yes.
Yeah.
Missouri in September, oh yeah, it's hot. Mhm.
Why in the hell do you do that to yourself?
'Cause I
No,
love
why do we do this
why?
to
Why do we do that to
ourselves?
ourselves? What that's why we're here right now.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's the thing. It's like that's one of the thoughts that creep into my head while I'm out there. Like, why in the hell am I doing this to myself? Why I don't have to be out here. You could
Mhm.
see the perplexed look on the drivers passing us. Like, who are these people? Why are they doing this? Like,
Yeah.
and but yeah, it happens. It happens even to we're motivated to do this, and
Mhm.
it can become such a slog. So I just want to kind of talk about like all of the tricks that I had to pull out of my back pocket to get through this run. And I just want you, the listener, to know that you're not alone
Yeah.
when thinking about like, man, I just really don't want to do it, but how can I push through? So we'll kind of ping pong back and forth between Angie and I. And what are some of the tricks that we use to get through a run like this? So the first thing that I did, this is 18 miles, and we were at a Fleet Feet group run. We had a 6 o'clock start, and there's a group that meets up at 7. So in my mind, I just kind of broke it down into like each one of these little legs are going to be individual runs. And so the first leg was like just over 5 miles. The second one was around 6 miles. Then we did another I think it was another 6 mile loop. So basically, we had 3 10Ks, is kind of
Mhm.
essentially what it was. And that really helped breaking it down. Like, I just got to get through this individual leg. Then I'll be back in my car. I can reset with some food and fuel for a second. And then I can do another 10K. And that's just like throughout the week. That's typically what I run, is probably somewhere between a 5K and a 10K. So I just look at it as like an individual run. So breaking it down into manageable segments, and then even on those runs, breaking it down to a 1K or a 1 mile. Like, I look at the horizon, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to get to that pole on top of the hill up there. And
Mhm.
then maybe I'll get a sip of water, or maybe at that point, I'll turn on some tunes or something, or it celebrate the small victories. Like, okay, I'm halfway through this individual run. I just got to get through the next part, and just kind of breaking it down in my mind seems to help.
Yeah.
Um, do you use that methodology?
Oh, yeah, yeah, I've used that from the beginning. I have chunked my miles, chunked them, chunked them, chunked them. For me, what works best is a 5K distance because that is uh, that's my easy distance, like, that's my super easy distance, and so I break all my long runs down into 5Ks. So yesterday we ran a 10K, so that was 2 5Ks in my mind. Um Just that's what has worked for me. I think everyone needs to find what is their easy distance to chunk their miles down into and focus on that. Because that is absolutely always part of my, "Oh, well, I've got 2 more 5Ks, or I've got 3 more 5Ks, or I've got 4 more 5Ks." But I just count them down. "All right, that's 4, that's 3, there's 2. Oh, yeah, 5K is nothing." And that's really just the part of keeping me motivated to keep going and not put my thumb out and hitch a ride home and quit in the
Yeah.
middle of a long run.
Yeah. So breaking it down is,
Mhm,
man, it helps out significantly. There's been times that I've stopped my watch and restarted it just to
mhm.
give my own self that mental peace of like, okay, I'm just doing little 5Ks here to get through this thing.
Yeah,
And so whatever you got to do, whatever it takes. And so I think it's a great tactic. So
yeah.
set micro goals. And It's okay to walk. Like there were segments on this thing that I had to walk, and I did the telephone pole game where you like
Uh-huh.
you walk a telephone pole from one pole to the next, and then
Mhm.
you run to the next one, and you
Yeah.
might do that for a set distance. Then like at that point, I'm going to start running again. So
Mhm.
whatever you got to do to trick your mind, it's all about tricking your mind and into doing whatever is necessary to get through it. But
Take little snack walks. I mean, it doesn't have to be foam pole. It could be, "I've got a bag of crackers, and I'm gonna eat a cracker, and I'm
yeah,
gonna walk, and I'm gonna"
I'm going to smash this peanut butter sandwich that's in my pocket. That's
Yeah,
what I'm. Yeah, and I don't care.
that's
I'm
right.
Because yeah, I did that at one of the stops. Like I got there, they were waiting on me, and I'm like, I'm gonna enjoy my little sandwich here. They took off running. I'm like, I'm not running until I'm gonna enjoy this thing. And then I
Yeah,
running again. So set micro goals. That's strategy number one. Next one, positive self-talk. This is just positive affirmations. I mean, this is just, whatever your mantra is. I mean, obviously around here we say I do hard things. And for a lot of people, they've adopted that.
yeah,
Like I can do hard things. This is good for me. I lean into it. I can do this. I've overcome challenge before. Whatever your mantra is, like I do hard shit. I'm a
yeah,
badass, whatever it takes for you. You just kind of got to tap into that superpower as a reminder, like, I got this. Like
mhm,
I got this. But you don't want to develop this mantra on the fly. Like you gotta empower yourself before you get into this thing. And it
yeah,
should be like an ongoing thing. So whatever that is for you. Obviously, you can adopt do hard things if you want. I can do hard things. We do hard things, whatever that is. But it's absolutely true. And those positive affirmations and are really, really incredibly powerful. And it just reminds you of who you are, the badass superhero inside of you. You got that. Do you have any mantras aside from do hard things that you use, Angie?
yeah, my body can do m like, my this is what I can do. I'm just so thankful and in awe of what our bodies can do.
Mhm.
And so if you've never been athletic and, if I'm speaking now to people that maybe have been athletic off and on their whole life and it just has come naturally. There's a lot of us that have not like we came from not being athletic. We came literally couch potato to now what we're doing. And so for me, I just sit right back into that, "Oh my god, I can't believe what I'm capable of. I can't believe what we are capable of. I
Yeah.
can't believe how far we can go." And it's always unless you have an injury, it is mind over everything else because your body is capable of so much more than you give yourself credit for, and you usually stop before you should. And so I just remind myself of how strong I am, how fucking amazing I am. Er, I'm trying not to curse. I
Oh, you're
just said
good.
the F word. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I mean, I just pump myself up. I am my biggest cheerleader in my brain.
Yeah. I another thing that I've learned to use, I got this from Lacey, is I get to do this. I don't have to do this.
Yeah.
I get to do this. And it's just a reminder of, I mean, there are people out there that would give anything to have the body that I have,
Mhm.
and that they are limited from some capability, and that this is a gift from God that I still get to do this.
Mhm.
And it's just a mental switch that, you know what, I get to do this. This is an amazing gift from God, and to use it. And you can't convince me otherwise. But humans were designed. We are the ultimate endurance athlete. We were designed to do long distance running, cycling, whatever. It's
Yeah.
part of our biology, and it's just part of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, but positive self talk, whatever that is for you, practice that.
Absolutely.
Visualizing success. Spend time visualizing the run before you start. Now, this is where I probably have fallen short when it comes to training, because I'll do this for races and it's very, very powerful. But I didn't do that on my run this weekend, and I probably should spend some time doing that. But just going through a visualization exercise from start to finish of what your run would look like. Visualization helps you build a mental framework. It helps you like prepare for the proverbial wall, right? And how to break through that. What are some things that you could kind of prepare for, that you, some obstacles that you might find in the way. And visualization is incredibly, incredibly powerful. Pro athletes do this all the time. There have been countless studies that show that visualization works. I know it's definitely helped me with races. Um, I just forget to do it on my long runs. I take it for granted, but
Bro, I
visualization.
I did not visualize. I did not. I'm not visualizing going out in 18-degree weather and what that race is gonna look like. I'm visualizing myself dressing right in all the right layers and being prepared for the run while I'm out there and being comfortable while I'm running. That is my visualization. That was my visualization at 18 degrees this weekend. I was just like, "Yep, nope, I'm not even gonna think about the trail. I'm not gonna think about anything but preparing, being well prepared, and being comfortable and enjoying myself." That is my visualization.
Visualize that coffee when you're done, that hot cup of coffee. Yeah.
Yeah.
But visualization is
Yeah,
incredibly powerful. So could not
it is.
recommend that enough.
Yeah.
Focus on your why. Just remember why you started. Like, why the hell are you out here in the first place? You know, the big motivator for us is we are going to go to Rock and Roll Nashville, and we want to have a good time, and we want to run the thing. Like, we
Mhm.
want to. You know, it's Lacey's first marathon, and we want to run, have a good time, and not make it like so. I've run marathons before. You can go off the couch and run a marathon and complete it. I've done that before.
Yeah.
It's miserable. It's horrible. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna want to be like, you know, we want to. I want to be able to walk away from the marathon and go have a good time that night and not be completely
Yes.
destroyed. So
Yes.
it's like remembering, you know, why are we putting in the training miles now when we don't absolutely have to? You know, we're not going there to win it, but a win for us is, you know, a good solid time. We want to start and finish it and feel good when we're done.
Yes.
And so that's a why.
Dude, I'm there's such a huge difference in running and being really prepared and training really well and building up your endurance and feeling tired, you have to recover, right? There's a difference between that and feeling like you got hit by a Mack truck and you
Yeah.
don't want to move for like 3 days. And
Yeah.
so when people experience both and they're like, "Yeah, so the whole training thing, yeah, that feels so much better." That is such a higher motivation to get out there and get those training miles in and
Yeah.
be fully prepared and just because when you feel that good afterward, it's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been amazing because I've worked with a lot of runners in running coaching where they've never really worked with a coach before, and
Mhm.
they walked away from a half marathon or a marathon feeling like they got hit by a bus. Then I took them through a training cycle, and they're like, "Holy shit! I didn't know I could feel this good after a run." And that's the argument for training. And the interesting thing is the training doesn't it's just the right amount of distance with the right pacing tempo. It's not that difficult. Like with
Mhm.
proper training, it makes your training even easier.
Yeah.
So could not recommend that. I know it's a shameless plug for my own running coaching, but find a coach.
Mhm.
If not me, find somebody to work with if you've never worked with one and see what difference that would make because it does make a huge difference. But yeah. Anyway, focus on your why. Remember why you started, and that was our why. We
Yeah.
are willing to brave the 18-degree weather because it's part of our training. We're
Yeah.
committed to this cycle. So, all right, next one. Just practice mindfulness. Stay present. Stay focused on the moment. Pay attention to your breathing. Pay attention to the scenery around you. Mindfulness can help your mind from wandering into dark thoughts or feelings of fatigue. I had a moment where Lacey came up to me and I'm like, I kind of broke away from the crowd. I'm like, I need a little bit of time to myself at the moment. I'm not having a good time. I'm going to get present with myself because I'm just angry for having to be here right now. And I'm like, I need to change my attitude and I need some peace to do that. And that's what I did. She ran off and I'm like, okay, I get to do this. I do hard things. This is painful, but I'm better for it. I kind of went through the whole mantra, but that's the
Mhm.
mindfulness, right?
Yeah.
It's not a pretty process. Mindfulness sounds beautiful and woo woo. It's a
Mhm.
messy process. You have to take yourself from a negative space where you might be cussing at the world or having some a tough conversation with Jesus and bring yourself back to center.
Yeah.
And it's not always the most pleasant thing. Like at that moment, I was kind of a punk ass bitch at the moment. And I had to rewrite myself. Sorry, LinkedIn, I might get kicked off. That's I had to get my mind right because that's where I was. I was in a dark space.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's mindfulness.
Gratitude really helps with that, guys. Gratitude,
Yeah.
just being thankful that you're out there doing the hard thing, you're enduring the suck, that you're training, that your body hurts and your lungs might hurt if it's, negative 1,000,000 out there and, um, maybe you just didn't get enough sleep, but just sitting in that gratitude and feeling that gratitude and looking around like, "Holy crap." I'm out here, you know? I mean, that goes such a long way.
Yeah. The gratitude bit. When you're in deep gratitude, you can't help but be in a positive space. So
Mhm.
it just might take a minute to get there because it's where it was. It was like, man, I was out of gratitude. I had to get myself back in alignment, and it definitely helped. It took me about a
Yeah.
mile, but I got back in there. So, all right. Embrace discomfort. Discomfort's part of long distance running. It's part of the lifestyle.
Yeah.
Accepting it rather than fighting it can reduce the mental burden because it's always exciting to get up and get moving. That first mile, it's always, well, after the first mile, usually that first mile is a little tough, but once you get in the groove,
Yeah.
it feels good. And then realize at some point it's going to start to hurt. And
Mhm.
just embracing that is part of the process. Being comfortable with just being comfortable with discomfort,
Mhm.
and just realize that this is temporary. And when it gets tough, that you kind of maybe distract yourself with some music or a conversation with your friends.
Yeah.
But whatever mental game you got to play, but just realize that it hurts. It's designed to hurt. It's
Mhm.
going to hurt. Even in a marathon, like even if you're properly trained, like the last 6 miles, once you're going to hit the wall, the last 6 miles are always painful, and it's okay. It's part of it. But you
Yeah.
do hard things.
Yeah, for sure, and I think, being prepared is because, yeah, like Jay said, you're gonna be uncomfortable when you're out there on these long runs, and it's not gonna be, happy, 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 happy all the time, but if you are prepared, that is one thing that I know 100,000,000% that has gotten me through. I've Have I chafed? Yes, I've chafed, but minimally. Like, I don't chafe a lot because I prepare. I prepare with different, chafing anti-chafing products that work for me. And I make sure, even like on a 6 mile run, I'm like, oh, let me break this out because I don't want to chafe. Blisters. I know what socks to wear and for the miles. I know what shoes to wear for the miles. And I have very minimal blistering. I've figured out how to fuel and how to hydrate. Yes, you need to fuel on long runs, your body, or maybe you don't, but you have to figure these things out and then work them into the process because you're going to be uncomfortable, but be as comfortable in the uncomfortable by being prepared. Like I live and die by that.
Yeah, absolutely. And get the right gear. Experiment with gear.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, I don't want to spend the money on, but Tony, nice clothes, nice shoes, nice socks. They last a long time. They
Yes.
uh they make everything more comfortable. This is the funny thing because I like to camp and people are like, I can't camp or it's just so miserable. It's because you don't have the right equipment. Like if you had a nice sleeping bag and it was more comfortable, I bet you would absolutely love it. But when you're using equipment and tools that are, they just make it more difficult, it's not going to be as fun. So yeah, don't it's all about experimentation and trying to learn, and it's little things that make all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
So yeah. Run with a group or a partner. Obviously, having suffering with a group is always better than doing it alone. I think having a social support and accountability is huge. So having a running partner, a group, whether in person or even virtually, helps you share the workload, makes the miles more enjoyable, and makes you realize that you're not alone out there. And so that's always useful. And that's what we're doing here at the Do Hard Things Nation, creating a community of like-minded people getting after it. But I think that's important. So
Yes.
it's definitely helpful. And then reflecting on past successes. The more that you do this, the more that you've had these moments where things didn't, you weren't having the best of time at the moment, but you got it done anyway. You can always reflect on it like, you know what? I've done this before. I can do this again. It's
Mhm.
just my mindset at the moment. I just need to overcome it. And you can draw on those past memories to give you strength in the current moment when you're facing difficulty. And I think that transcends just everyday life, right? I can do hard things. I've done hard things before. I'm confident in my ability. I can push through. I think that definitely makes a difference. And the more that you get comfortable being uncomfortable, the easier it gets. So
Yes. Yeah.
hence why you gotta push the envelope on what that is for your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that leads me into the Bannister effect and mindset when it comes to that. Uh, so I got a little story for you. Okay, so running a 4-minute mile, it just can't be done. It's impossible. People have tried and failed before. The body just can't handle it. He's risking his health. What a waste of time. It's a fool's errand. Like these were some of the statements that were made when naysayers of Robert Bannister was attempting to run a sub 4 minute mile. And in sports, there are some established records that become what is perceived as an insurmountable barrier. And in the world of running, it was the sub 4 minute mile that was considered the Mount Everest of athletic achievement.
Mhm.
And for over 70 years, runners had been diligently trying to break the 4 minute mile barrier. And it was finally broken May 6th, 1954. But up until that time, the fastest recorded time was 4 minutes, 1 second, 0.4. And runners from around the world, I mean, it was like newsworthy. They were attempting over and over and over again. Large crowds would gather to see people try to break this record attempt, but it could not be done.
Mhm.
Sir Roger Bannister, he was a medical student and he was a middle distance runner from Britain. And the key, though, as they analyzed him and his methodology compared to the others, was that he truly believed that he could do it. And he approached it with a growth mindset. He not only focused on the body, but his mindset. He had a demanding medical school schedule, so he had to think outside the box and how he could get his training done. And he ultimately, to do this, adopted an unusual training plan where he would combine interval training, which was new, and it's what we train today, and visualization. He would visualize and spend time just mentally preparing and seeing himself accomplish this. This was different from all of the other runners. And on May 6th, it was an overcast day, 1954. He proved the world that it could be done, and he smoked it with a 3:59.4. So 2 seconds faster. And it was during unfavorable running conditions. It was windy that day. And he'd done what experts thought were absolutely impossible. Now, here's the unique thing. This is where the term Bannister Effect comes from. Just 46 days after Bannister's record, an Australian runner by the name of John Landy ran the mile in 3:57. So like almost like a second and a half faster.
Mhm.
And then in less than a year, 3 more runners broke the record. So what happened? 70 years, all of these runners were trying to, um, go for it, and they couldn't break it. Now all of a sudden, it's like the floodgate was open. So what happened? Did humans evolve suddenly physically? Was there some type of technological breakthrough in running shoes or socks? No, it was the mindset of what runners perceived this barrier to be. Runners up until this point were held back by the mindset that they couldn't do it.
Mhm.
And then when the record was broken, it shattered that limiting belief, and the possible was now possible. And the current time for the 1 mile run is 3:43.
Oh,
3:43.
wow.
Even
That
it's
is
hard to wrap my head around.
insane.
Yeah. So
Insane.
17 seconds faster than what this insurmountable time was for the longest time. There was a woman indoor track record, I think, over the weekend broken. Indoor track's a little bit slower because of the tight corners. I think 4:16 for females over the
Wow.
weekend, which is super, super fast.
Yeah.
So the Bannister effect is a term used when someone breaks through a barrier that was previously thought to be impossible. So this is outside of running. This has become like a coin. When something thought to be impossible becomes possible, and it leads people to believe into a new possibility.
Mhm.
And so we all have assumptions about our own capabilities, our own limitations, and we need to be able to break through that. We need to identify, what is that 4 minute mile in our life, and how can we shatter that limitation in our own life. And so I just want you to think about in your own life when you pushed beyond your own limits, your own limiting beliefs, and achieved something that you thought was impossible. And what did you learn from that experience? Have you had anything, Angie, that you thought was impossible in your life?
Oh, hell yeah. I thought, man, if you woulda asked me if people regularly ran 100 milers or 50 Ks or 50 milers 6, 7 years ago, I would've been like, "No, people don't do that. No." And then here I am, I'm out. I mean, I will never forget the day that I went out for a 14-mile training run and ran 36 miles because of the people that I was with. I
Yeah.
mean, that there was no I was like, "You guys are" they were like, "You're gonna end up running at least a marathon today." And I'm like, "You guys are shut up. There's no way." But the more you're around it and you see it and you're like, "Wait a minute." We know people that regularly run 50 milers and 100 milers. because their mindset is that they can do it. And so, absolutely, yes, 100%. When it's a normal thing to say, how far are you gonna go run today? I don't know. I'm gonna go run 15 miles today. I'm gonna go run 10 miles today. Like that's normal in our friend group, and it's just crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Like, what? What?
It sounds insane to drive 100 miles. Like I'm about to get off the podcast, go drive 100 miles. It's a
Yeah.
long way to drive, let alone to run.
Yes.
Uh, and it transcends, into your personal life. Like there's a lot of races and things that I've done. I mean, my whole growth mindset journey started with running, but that bled over to my personal life. I never thought that I could be a father of triplet daughters. I
Yeah.
didn't think I would ever be a father. I didn't think that I came from nothing. Going to college and earning a bachelor degree, I didn't think that that was possible. Then that led me to, oh my gosh, a master's degree. I don't think I can do this. And I did it. And I not only did it once, but I did it twice in my career, becoming an officer. That wasn't in the cards for the likes of me and where I came from. And I did it. I did it well. And so time after time after time, there were things in my life outside of just running that I thought were impossible but I was able to leverage those other impossibilities in my life. I had Bannister Effect in my life. And I'm like, you know what? I think I can do this if I apply these principles: hard work, showing up, dedication, getting a coach and a mentor, getting the right community around me. Like I feel like I'm pretty freaking unstoppable, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
And my current 4-minute mile is this expedition race. I'm not gonna lie, I'm scared. The expedition Ozark coming up. I'm scared. But I'm using all of the tools at my disposal.
Mhm.
We're leveraging a community. I've got a partner. I've got, a bunch of people clapping when I win and supporting me. I'm getting all the gear and equipment. And that's my current 4-minute mile that I'm working for, just trying to finish this race. So I think everyone has that. What is
Yeah.
that in your life? And just realize that you're only limited by your own mindset.
Mhm.
That's it. And you can
That's
shatter it.
it. Yeah.
You can shatter it. Well, it's 6:32. 6:32.
Already.
We
Alright.
gotta let me pull up my screen here. We got our weekly winner, and then all right. So this our weekly winner is gonna be a little bit unusual because I don't have like full blown photos. I'm gonna share with you a Facebook page because Ray is primarily on TikTok. Ray Dykstra, you are a weekly winner, and is that working? There we go. Boom. All right, Ray Dykstra, whom is right here. Look at that. Look at that handsome devil with a frowny face. Ray, you got to update your profile photo, dude. You look angry. He's actually the nicest guy in the world. He shaved off his beard over the weekend. He's been doing a big fundraiser. He founded the America First Project, and he's building tiny homes for veterans. And he has been working diligently. His big footprint is on Facebook, but he's been working diligently on doing fundraising to build tiny homes. He's buying some land up in South Dakota, and he's auctioning off a bunch of. He's got people donating like woodworking. He's got people donating vehicles, all sorts of stuff to get this project of making, providing housing for homeless veterans. And he's been working so hard on. He's constantly going live on his TikTok and
Mhm.
just spreading the word on his mission. And he's such a just a kind, giving person. He did a battle the other night where people were gifting, and he lost the battle, but they raised a bunch of money. But he shaved off his beard on TikTok, just as a way to raise funds. And I just appreciate his heart and what he's doing in his journey. So Ray, for just being a role model for other people and being selfless. We're going to send you a Do Hard Things shirt for just kicking ass, and appreciate what you're doing. But these are some of the,
Heck
the
yeah.
woodworking that people are donating, and all the money that he's raising behind the scenes to make this happen. So
Right on.
Ray, we appreciate you.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So, well, that's it. That's all I got for today. It is
Yeah.
Monday,
It is
President's
Monday.
Day. Go buy yourself a nice mattress
Mhm.
if you want, because
Yeah.
they're all on sale. And
Yeah.
I am going to go spend the day. I'm going to take my daughter to a Blues game.
Right on. I am gonna spend the day, um, this morning, we're at some point, we're gonna go run. I'm gonna hang out with my better half and our little furry companion, our little old dog, and then tonight we've got roller derby practice, so
Awesome.
more roller derby. Yeah, so I'm excited. So today's gonna be a great day. Go out and smile. Don't forget to make someone else smile. Make yourself smile first, and make someone else smile. Put a smile on somebody's face. Feels
Make
good.
the day count because you
Yeah,
can. You can. So we
absolutely.
appreciate y'all. And yeah, we will see you all in the next episode. Keep kicking ass, do hard things.